Back to break down another preseason game. Just one more of these bad boys until we have the real deal. We're going to talk about Trey Lance today and focusing on whether his velocity is an issue, which is pretty wild to say out loud, and how that impacts his receivers. From there, we're going to talk about Lance and how he was a little indecisive in this game. After that, we'll talk about how Lance impacts the 49ers rushing game. Then we're going to talk about, finally, how he manipulated the defense with his eyes and his shoulders. Please, as always, rate, subscribe, review, leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. So let's get into Trey Lance in his second preseason game. Film to understand that Trey Lance had a strong arm. Any highlight would have shown that. Any practice film from the 49ers during training camp would have showed the same. But I still feel like we kind of sold him short for just how powerful of an arm that he has. And you could tell by some of the velocity that Trey Lance was putting on these throws during the Chargers game. So Kyle Shanahan actually spoke about that during a conference call on Monday. He said, quote, "Some of the big arm quarterbacks that I've had have very similar issues. That's why you have to have guys with good hands. But you also want to make it easier on them, and it's stuff that I think he'll get better at the more that he plays." So essentially, the more Trey Lance gets repetition in the NFL, the less that these will be an issue. He's going to probably take a little bit off his fastball and realize everything doesn't have to be 104 miles an hour. Because if we had a radar gun, it does seem like those RPMs would be up there. But today, I want to talk about how difficult it is when the passes are not at your eye level compared to when it hits you in the face mask. And obviously, there are going to be outliers, which we'll get to. But overall, I don't think it's nearly as big as an issue as people think. You have to remember, this kid has not played much live football at all since 2019. So these are still him getting reps. All right, so this first throw is the interception. And here is Mohamed Sanu. He's going to run up and in, so he's going to run a little dig. And you can see just how high the ball is. The ball is probably an inch or two high, probably 2 to 3 inches if we're being honest. And just the room for error, the margin for error, when you throw the ball as hard as Lance does, for the receiver is going to be very difficult to reel in. So as you can see, he's going to come across the middle. They teach you late hands as a receiver, so he's not going to be running with his hands up because that's going to slow him down. The ball finds him. I mean, it should have been caught. Nobody's arguing that. But what we want to talk about is just where the ball is and the margin for error. So here it is, slow down a little bit. Like, that's high right there. Look at that. He should not have to go above his head when the ball's coming 100 miles an hour. It's going to be very tough for any wide receiver to haul in. So I understand why it's a drop. Would Mohamed Sanu catch this ball 9 out of 10 times? Probably, because he has really strong hands, really good hands. But again, when you miss high with that type of velocity, it's just really tough for a wide receiver to haul it in. Next concept, again, one-on-one stuff. Every team in the league runs it. If you're Mike McCarthy, you run it every other play. Slant flat, Trent Sherfield to the top. He's going to run a slant. Halfback's going to run a swing route. Trey Lance is just reading this guy. If this guy stays, throw the swing route. If he comes up, throw this into the first or second window. So again, the ball's at Trent Sherfield's eye level. You can see how easy it is for him to pick that up and haul the pass in. So right read, linebacker goes out or hang defender goes out. Lance finds Sherfield, and as you can see, he's able to hang on the ball because that bad boy is coming. Touchdown throw to Mohamed Sanu. Might not seem like much, but there's a lot going on here. So here he is in the slot, Sanu. He's going to run to the front of the end zone and settle down because he has soft coverage. As soon as this defender slides inside, Lance takes advantage of that. He throws with really good anticipation here. But what I want to focus on here is just the placement of the ball. And also, nobody's going to complain about the velocity on this one. Notice how Mohamed Sanu is going to have plenty of time to protect himself after he catches the ball. But just watch where the ball placement is and how he has time to protect himself. And, of course, just the difference of the previous miss where the interception was, 2, 3, 4 inches high, whereas this one, he has time to pick it up. So let's take it through. Let's walk through here. So the ball, he's already releasing the ball, and Mohamed Sanu hasn't even sat down in his route yet. That right there is anticipation. That has to matter when you're evaluating the quarterback. Obviously, sits down there, protects himself. Just much easier to pick up the ball when it's at your face. And the margin for error is greater because you can pick it up faster. So here we go. One more time from the end zone view. You see good anticipation. Have no idea what 31 is doing. They probably should have bracketed Sanu. He gets caught in no man's land watching the quarterback. I'm not sure if Trey Lance kind of stared down the middle and baited him with his eyes. Perhaps that is the case. If so, great on you, young man, but you really see the anticipation there. Good spot, easy touchdown. Is an outlier just because Richie James here, he's going to run a little out route. Lance does hit him in the face mask, but again, it's coming so hot where your margin for error, you just don't have much room. And you have to be even more precise than what you usually are, which is even more of a reason to take some off of your fastball, man. Just instead of 104, this can be 92, and it'll still get there with plenty of time. Not too worried about this because I don't know if we'll see James in a regular season game, and whoever is playing that position, if it is Trent Sherfield, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, you would imagine that they catch it. But there does seem to be a bit of a shock factor, or at least there was this game, for the wide receivers when the ball was coming their way because, again, those RPMs, that radar gun, like it's up there. That ball gets on him in a hurry, and he just can't hang on. All right, so this is the indecisiveness that I was talking about with Lance. So they're going to run a pretty common play right here. So it's just going to be stick. Wide receiver, must outside release, vertical, takes the corner out of the play. This guy right here, Ross Dwelley, is going to run straight to the flat, and Charlie Warner is going to run a curl route right here. So Trey Lance should be reading this guy right here. So if he were to stay, then perfect. Throw the ball to Dwelley in the flat. If he were to go to Dwelley, then this turns into an option route, and he's going to go out. So that way you can hit Charlie Warner there. And as you can see, he's going to blitz. So if he blitz, he vacates the area. Perfect. Hit Dwelley right here. I don't know who Trey Lance is reading, but he ends up patting the ball 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, pat, pat. And then he throws, very inaccurate, but there's a reason for that. And I think it's just because his eyes weren't in the right spot. And if his eyes were, I imagine he doesn't have that inaccurate of a pass because he missed Charlie Warner there by a significant amount. So let's watch it here. From this angle, you'll get a chance to see just Lance hang on to the ball. And again, I feel like if his eyes were in the right spot, he gets rid of the ball right away. But he's not. See his helmet move there a little bit. Let's rewind it just a bit. Just watch his helmet move. He doesn't know where to go, and that's why he's late and lucky to avoid an interception there. All right, so a little more of Lance's indecisiveness on this play. So what we have here is a slot fade. So Charlie Warner to the top of the screen is going to run a curl route. Brandon Ayuk is going to run the fade route. Lance wants this fade. Doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to hit Trent Sherfield on the backside dig. That's where he wanted to go, I believe. So they're going to high-low the defense. It's going to be a dig and then a deeper post, and you're going to have Hasty as the check down. So let's walk through it here and see what Lance sees. All right, so he's in this drop. He's looking at Ayuk. Doesn't like what he sees, and as you can see from there, he goes to Sherfield, who looks wide open right now, like throw the ball. But he has somebody right in his lap, and that causes Lance to slide up in the pocket a little bit. So right there, good pocket movement. That is a great thing. And unfortunately, he can't get the ball off, and then he has to scramble a bit. And from here, just throw it away, man. Get rid of the ball. Can't take this sack. And that's a rookie. Like, that's why he has to play in these games. That's why he has to play. So he can see these looks, and he can know what's open in the NFL. Let's get at the end zone view. Ideally, a couple years from now, this will be easy for Lance. And what I mean by that is not necessarily going to Sherfield over the middle because you can't control what happens if you get pressure. But he should know where his checkdowns are. And I think that's what made Drew Brees such a special player because he can go 1, 2, 3 like Lance just did right there. He does a great job of going through his progressions right here as I pause it. And then even still slides up a little bit. You'll see Hasty come back into the picture. He's right here. He's a little across the formation because he ran a return route. But ideally, he checks it down to Hasty, and he gets rid of the ball. So that's what we're watching for as we continue to watch Lance evolve as a quarterback. Does he know when to get rid of the ball? Does he know where his check down routes are? All right, we're going to see a lot of the same on this play. So Lance is looking at this route. It's an isolation route. It's going to be play action. So the 49ers are going to suck up the second level defenders, leaving a wide open throwing lane for Richie James here on an in-breaking route. So let's see let's see what Lance sees and why he doesn't throw the ball. Because, so play action, you get to suck the defense up. Right here, Look at this. Parting like the Red Sea. It's a beeline, so you can't throw it on a line through the linebacker. It's going to have to be a little bit of touch, but he has to know in the NFL, this is open, throw the ball. And if not, he has a hot right here, check down, even though Jordan Matthews does release a little bit late. But then you do see the athleticism. You see him run a little bit. And if Jordan Matthews gets a block at the top of the screen, and if he doesn't miss that, Lance is probably off to the races. But still, first down, you like the result, but you want him to throw that ball to Richie James there. Like, that is open as it gets in the NFL. Let's see it from the end zone view. Good protection. I thought Wayne Gallman was really good, by the way, in pass protection in this game. Hits 50 with a little juke there, and then his athleticism takes over. Not going to be tackled. He's going to be a tough guy to bring down, but you want to save those for high leverage situations like the 2-point conversion. All right, so when we're talking about who plays at quarterback, we also have to talk about the impact you have on the running game. So does your quarterback make everyone around him better? Does he make their job easier? I think for Trey Lance, undoubtedly he does. So through 2 preseason games, when he's been on the field, the 49ers have 28 carries for 144 yards. That's 5.1 yards per carry. You will take that every day of the week. And that's without, Lance being this designed runner. So even there's only been a couple of scrambles. So let's walk through a couple plays here. And it's not going to seem like much. So this is a 5-yard gain. But notice how just the motion takes away the defender. And because Lance just barely takes a carry, fakes a carry, that they're able to get 5 yards. Because why? They have an extra blocker in the box. So now, instead of Jalen Moore blocking the backside end, they can get him in the box. And this happens on some of the zone reads and any play fake that Lance carries out. Just so many more rushing lanes for the runners. And that matters. Here's a look at the 2-point conversion. Didn't count, obviously, but in high leverage situations, so in short yardage, I hope that they go for 2 because it will be very tough to stop what we just saw right there. So you have a run pass option with 2 yards out, and your running option is 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is, 225 pounds, runs a 4.51. As you can see right here, he gets isolated with whoever your middle of the field defender is. 31 gives him a juke right there, and then it's off to the races. The cornerback isn't an issue. Score. All right, so here is the 41-yard pass to Trent Sherfield. The Chargers are in man-to-man across the board. The receiver to the top of the screen who's not pictured. Man coverage. Here is your safety. Here is your robber rat player who's going to guard the middle of the field. So Trey Lance knows what he's getting. And when you are in cover 1, this is pre-snap diagnosis right here. And this is why Lance does have a chance to start, because when you are in man coverage, you just take your best matchup. Who is that? You have Trent Sherfield on 31, who they've been putting under the microscope all game, who they just scored on with Sanu, who Lance just outran to the corner for the 2-point conversion. And now he's matched up against Trent Sherfield, who on the field right now is your best option. And let's go through the play right here. As you can see, finds him inside of the little hole right there, the honey hole. Sherfield gives him a good move. From the end zone view, it looks like Lance does a really good job of holding the safety. So watch his helmet, as always. Finds the hole. And let's go back there. And it's not just his helmet. It's also front shoulder intention. So when you're a DB, as a cornerback, if you get something front shoulder, so if you see the quarterback looking your way with his shoulders, you anticipate that is going your way. So obviously that doesn't happen here, and that's why he's able to hold the safety. I think he does just a really good job pre-snap of going where he needs to be, and obviously the ball is where it needs to be as well. So 1, 2, 3, holds the safety just long enough so he can't get over top on that route. Sherfield does the rest. Really good rep right there. All right, so there have been some high-level quarterbacking moments from Lance in this game up to this point, if you go based on the process and not the result. So the drop by Deebo Samuel, and I don't even know if you want to call it a drop because it was an inaccurate pass as well, but that third down play to Deebo Samuel where they didn't convert on the first series, you saw Lance move the defense with his eyes and his shoulders. On the interception, he did the same thing to Mohamed Sanu, move the defense with his eyes and his shoulders. Here we go again. Touchdown pass to Travis Benjamin. In the slot right here, he's going to move this defender with his eyes and his shoulders. So the defense that the Chargers are in, man-to-man coverage across the board, pretty simple, pretty basic. He's manned up. He's manned up. Free safety right here. He is manned up. He is the underneath hole player. He is man, and he is man. So they're in cover 1, And the reason that you can tell is because he's lined up directly over the running back. Not more of a dead giveaway than that. Obviously, if he were to release this way, they would probably switch it. Don't have to worry about that here, though. So what is important here is how Trey Lance moves this defender, holds him just long enough with his eyes and with his shoulders. He comes back here because he probably knows he's going to Travis Benjamin the entire time, gets rid of the ball, hits him in his face mask. Again, no velocity concerns here because it hits him right where it needs to be, so it's easy for Benjamin to make the catch. Let's run through it here. Really good play right there. And the Chargers actually want him to go to the ball right here because, look, outside leverage. He wants you to go to his help, which is right here. But again, since Lance holds him with his eyes, this player has no idea where to go. That is quality quarterbacking right there. We'll get a chance to see it from the end zone view, which I imagine probably looks better. Here is Lance. Just 31 has no idea where the ball is. Under the microscope ball game, and they took advantage of it. Just a great rep right there from Lance. All right, so Lance started 1 for 6, I believe it was, and finished 7 for 8. But it's preseason. Those stats don't matter. This pick was never going to be about whether Trey Lance is ready in August. Is he going to be ready by week 1? Or if Lance is just one of the best rookies on August 23rd when I'm publishing this. The 49ers gave up multiple first-round picks for Lance because they believe that he's going to be the best QB, whether it's 10 games from now, 2 years from now, or throughout his entire career. You have to think big picture. We have to enjoy and evaluate the process because that's what the coaches are doing. Like, that's how we know when Lance will be ready to play. So what we're watching, is he going to the correct spot with the ball? Is the ball coming out on time? And as you saw today, there's going to be some high highs where he looks really, really freaking good. And there's also going to be some indecisiveness, which is only going to be helped by the more he plays because that indecisiveness hurts his accuracy, and it affects the rest of the team. I think what's most promising about Trey Lance and his performance was just how he fought through a bit of adversity, and he didn't let some shaky play early on affect him. So physically, he's already reminiscent of Josh Allen. I think there's no doubt about that. But remember, Allen didn't exactly hit the ground running in the NFL. We already saw some high reps from Lance in these first 2 games where he gets good pre-snap reads and he goes to the right spot with the ball. We see good stuff from him post-snap, whether it's moving the defense with his eyes. So those traits outweigh Lance's physical gifts, and once he puts it all together, man, look out. This dude is going to be fun to watch, and it's evident it's only a matter of time before Kyle gives him the keys to the offense.